left. Vaughn Gittin Jr. will be leading this first run. Here we go, up and away. Vaughn Gittin Jr. is going to be leading. Rhys Millen's going to give chase. JR has good high line up through the bank. Coming in through the power alley, both drivers getting very tight on each other. Millen's able to really close up that proximity. Again, this is the top four. These are the best of the best here in Seattle. Got up here joined by Steph Papadakis, who is the owner of Papadakis Racing, and kind of giving us a little bit different view as a spotter. So Steph, you know, watching a run like this, what are you seeing as a spotter? What kind of feedback are you able to give to to your driver?
Yeah, so if you're JR's spotter, you're going to want to tell him what was happening behind him, if he's got an advantage or maybe a disadvantage, and to let him know how hard he needs to go against Rhys in the next run. Rhys will kind of know what he needs to do, but as far as the lead, which is just go out there and do the best lead run. Most of the spotter's job happens before that, to where we're looking at the cars during like practice time and even some of the qualifying, and see from the judge's perspective how the drivers can improve on their runs.
So again, Jacob Leviton joined up here by Steph Papadakis, getting a little bit different insight into everything. Steph Papadakis running the car with Frederick Osbo this year. Had an early exit in top 16, a little bit unexpected, but overall I think a good weekend for you guys to get the car out there and, you know, definitely gain some points on everybody you can. How's the weekend from your perspective?
Yeah, you know, this top 32 all the way from the 32 to where we are now has been mostly mistakes from drivers.
Yeah.
You know, we've only had maybe 2 runs. Here we go.
Yep, so Rhys Millen's going to be leading. Get some more insight from Steph Papadakis in just a few. Millen entering much earlier than JR, staying high on the line. You can see JR up on the wall behind him, but not able to close that proximity. At least one tire off for Millen there. You see JR diving into your screen, trying to close up that gap, but I'm not sure that JR is really making up much ground over the course of the track. Wow, a good run from both drivers. Probably, again, 2 clean runs from 2 solid drivers, 2 former champions. What are you noticing?
So what I've been noticing is there's a lot of losses here due to technicalities, like dropping tires, or like in this case, you've got Rhys Millen, who may have dropped 2 tires. You got JTP, who went out top 32. Really good drift. He went over barely with 2 tires. So, you know, I think Rhys might have just done that.
Definitely 1, possibly 2. I think we might end up seeing this replay a couple of times because the judges are going to want to see it. Yep, we're getting that whole slow it down and replay it. Again, joined by Steph Papadakis. Great to have you up here. You know, for your team overall, it's been a pretty good season. I know you guys had a pretty big failure, mechanical failure in Jersey that knocked you out a little bit earlier. This time, it was a fair matchup, just kind of got taken out by a better driver. So, unfortunate. We'll keep going through this replay. What stands out to you, Steph?
So let's see. You've got JR quite close here on the entry. No, 2 car lanes. I think JR basically blew that by just not being close enough on the entry there. The top level cars like Rhys, he's quick enough to where if he's got a gap on you at the beginning there, you're probably not going to get that back. And you're not going to have that proximity during the follow tandem. Fortunate to JR, looks like Rhys made quite a big mistake, and he might move on due to that over the line issue. Have you guys got a call on that yet?
Yeah, we haven't seen anything yet. We'll see it pop up over here on the screen. Don't see any decisions yet, but again, Steph Papadakis, you've experienced some success here in the past. You've won with Tanner. You've hit a podium with Frederick Osbo last year. Is there anything special about this track that you guys really have figured out that some of the other teams might not have?
I think most of the guys know what they need to do is be quick. You're going to be fast, and on top of that, I mean, fundamentally, you need to not make mistakes.
Yeah.
So if you're quick out here and you're not making mistakes, which JR has done an excellent job of doing in these rounds, then you're going to keep moving on. And you don't always necessarily have, unfortunately, it's not always the best drift, the guy with the best corners, always winning. I keep going over this, but we've had so many guys losing rounds, especially JTP, the points leader with, you know, 12 inches out. It's too much.
That's all she wrote.
Yeah, that's all she wrote.
So it looks like we might have a decision in. I'm trying to see what's going on yet. They're still kind of talking it over there, so it's great to always get insight from people who are in the pits working hard. Again, Steph Papadakis won a championship with Tanner twice. How does Osbo relate as a driver to Tanner? Are they easier to communicate or harder to communicate with one way or another, or do they have similar driving styles, different driving styles? Go over that as a team owner. What is that like?
So there's a big difference between Tanner and Frederick versus just experience. You know, when Tanner started drifting, he was already 33, 34 years old. He had already been to other motorsports. And an established
I thought Tanner
driver.
was still 22 years old
he
now.
He 22 forever. But I mean, you know, he had already had his fair share of laps in different types of motorsports.
Yeah.
So he'd been under the pressure. He's raced a lot. And when he went into the drifting, he already had a lot of techniques from other types of rally, even road racing, that he could carry over to the drift.
Yeah.
Frederick, on the other hand, is a core drifter. And that's great because, you know, he's only 25 years old right now. He's been drifting for about 5 years. Norway, Europe, here in the U.S. And you can see the evolution of his driving and doing better and better. But, you know, just the increase, just continuing to do more of these events and more competition leads you to more knowledge and more experience and more, I think, ultimately, more wins.
So just so everybody at home knows, we're not missing any of the action on track. We're just going over some of the replays. Some of the judges have asked for these replays again. What you see on the drift stream is live on the big screen, the Jumbotron, at the events. So we're just kind of looking over a couple things. I think looking at that tire drop again from Rhys Millen. Very close battle from Rhys Millen and Vaughn Gittin Jr. Rhys on the Hankook tires, Vaughn Gittin Jr. on the Falken tires. And we're here with another team that's on Hankook tires, chatting it up with Steph Papadakis. Steph, you've also driven on a couple different tire companies, but now you're on Hankook for the last couple years. How's that been?
Excellent. I think it's the best tire that's out here, and you can see it. I mean, that's what Rhys is on right now, and you can see the speed that he has and the consistency of grip from the beginning of the run to the end of the run, and even into the following run. Like if he's leading, then he goes to the follow.
So we have a decision. Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the win. I think the tires off from Millen might have been too much for him to overcome. So Rhys will still have a chance at the podium in the